Hey, what's up folks? How's it going? This is Waj. Hope you guys are all doing well. And for the past couple of days, I had the opportunity to review the new A7s Mark II from Sony. It's an absolutely amazing camera. And one of the things that I wanted to do is see how much the actual technology has progressed from something like you get on the new A7s Mark II versus probably one of those popular full-frame DSLRs you can get for both videos and photos, the 5D Mark III from Canon. So we're going to do a full in-depth stills and video comparison, obviously concentrating a little bit more on video since a lot of people are using DSLRs these days to shoot video. And in particular, this video is going to be really excellent for anybody that's using perhaps a Canon DSLR and wants to see what the features are on the camera like the A7s that has full 4K capturing capabilities and amazing low light performance. So without any further ado, let's get right into this comparison. Now, the first thing we're going to take a look at is the actual sensor size between these two. Now, obviously, they're both full frame, but they're actually a little bit different in terms of format. The size on the 5D Mark III is 36mm by 24mm, a perfectly rounded off number, versus the A7s Mark II has a 35.8 by 23.9mm sensor, which is slightly smaller than the sensor we have on the 5D. In terms of actual resolution, the 5D Mark III has a 22.3 megapixel sensor, and we have a 12.2 megapixel sensor on the A7s Mark II, which is identical to the original A7s. And one of the big things about obviously the A7s is its low light capabilities, and because it has much larger photo sites, each pixel in fact measures 8.4 microns in terms of size versus 6.25 microns on the 5D Mark III. So therefore, the A7s Mark II is definitely a little bit more capable in terms of its low light performance. It has an ISO range of 50 to about 400,000 ISO, which is absolutely insane. And the 5D Mark III has an ISO range of anywhere between 100 ISO to 100,000 ISO. In terms of the shutter capabilities, both cameras can do 1/8000th of a second in terms of maximum shutter speed, and in terms of the maximum burst mode, you're looking at 6 FPS on the 5D versus 5 FPS on the Sony. Now, in terms of displays, the rear displays on both of them are actually quite similar. They're both around 3 inches, a little bit higher resolution count on the A7s Mark II, about 1.2 million dots versus about 1 million dots on the 5D. Of course, there's a little bit of screen articulation on the Sony versus the Canon has a fixed rear mounted display. And because the 5D is a proper DSLR camera, we have an optical viewfinder, which gives you 100% coverage. It's fantastic to use, very bright. And the charm of having an optical viewfinder is that you're actually viewing reality without any kind of electronic interference. Since the A7s is a mirrorless camera, the electronic viewfinder is probably one of the best in the business. It has a resolution count of over 2.3 million dots, and it's actually better to use than the rear mounted display. It has almost double the resolution, and you basically can't see any pixels. And this is probably one of the best EVFs that I've encountered in a long time, and it's probably the best that you're going to experience for a while, because it's really hard to push this many dots into such a small space. And this is one of the reasons why the camera costs so much. You are paying for a fantastic electronic viewfinder that has pretty much no latency whatsoever, and it's up there with the quality that you get of an optical viewfinder. Now, with all that done, let's actually take a look at the side-by-side stills comparison between these two cameras, and we're going to take a look at the same scenario shot with both cameras. In terms of lenses, we're using a 28mm f2 lens on the Sony, and we're using the 24-70 f2.8 Canon L series lens on the 5D, and I'm going to make sure that I have my zoom set to 28mm all the time, so we have a same field of view, and set the aperture to the same settings as well, so we're as equivalent and as consistent as possible. But without any further ado, let's get right into this. Now moving on, in terms of the video capturing capabilities, the A7s completely blows the 5D Mark III out of the water, and that is completely understandable because the 5D has been out for a couple of years now, and it's definitely due for an upgrade, and it would be awesome to have 4K video capturing capabilities. You can basically do 1080p at 30 FPS in terms of its maximum settings. Even if you look at the new 5DS and R models, there's still not any upgrade when it comes to video capturing capabilities. There's obviously a big stills advantage on those cameras, but if you're specifically looking for video on the Canon side, if you're looking for a DSLR, there's really nothing better than this particular camera right now, which is sad because the A7S Mark II can shoot a full 4K at 30 FPS, and it can also shoot 1080p at over 120 frames per second, which is absolutely insane and completely blows the 5D out of the water in terms of those regards. You can also shoot up to 100 megabits per second with the right SD card, and in addition to that, we also have a log profile on the Sony where you can shoot a very flat picture profile and color grade later on for better latitude and a little bit more control of your highlights and shadows, which is always a good thing for capturing a higher dynamic range versus the Canon does not have those type of features. Additionally, both cameras do have a headphone and microphone jack, which is excellent for monitoring your external audio. Now let's actually get into the video quality differences between the two. I have uploaded this video in full 4K, and you can definitely view it in that if you want to see the difference between the two. And even if you don't have a 4K display, you should have a higher theoretical clarity on the A7S Mark II. But let's get right into it and find out for ourselves. But as you witnessed from the main comparison, in terms of video capturing capabilities, the A7S Mark II is heads and shoulders beyond what the 5D Mark III can do, both in terms of the capabilities and the feature sets and everything like that. The Canon really needs to make a proper 4K camera. Hopefully that will come out soon, where this comparison will become a little bit more representative with the new Canon camera that can shoot 4K. But at this point, that's not happening anytime soon, and Canon is kind of slow to develop new cameras. But really, in the meantime, this is an absolute amazing camera for shooting 4K video, not to mention the jaw-dropping low-light performance. If you're specifically interested in it, check out the B&H link down below. B&H actually was kind enough to supply the A7S Mark II for us. Without them, this video wouldn't be possible, so a big thank you to them. But other than that, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you later. Take care.